All right, folks, what's going on? This is episode 706 of the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Baller. Over here, we talk about Georgia Southern and Atlanta Falcons football. And today, we're going to get into win number 7 for Georgia Southern. What does that mean for Georgia Southern football? It doesn't matter if we win against Old Dominion. It doesn't matter if we win against Appalachian State. It doesn't matter if we really win against, in our bowl game. What does win number 7 mean for Georgia Southern in this day and age and in this season? I'm gonna give my thoughts and opinions on that, so we'll get into that. So if this is your first time here, welcome. I can be found on YouTube and Rumble. I'm also on Anchor, Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. So if you want to listen to the podcast at your leisure, the podcast avenues are open. I can also be found on X or Twitter at VF Baller, and the website is firstandframerates.com. Also, if you want to support the show monetarily, CashApp and PayPal links are below and in the description, so you can check all that out. All right. I know I was going to talk about Old Dominion, but I'm going to leave that for Friday. Give us a preview of that game and what we expect. But what does win number 7 mean for Georgia Southern? And, what does it mean in the scheme of things? Right now, we sit at 6-4. I think we're in a pretty good shape, all things considered. We still have a good chance to get the Sun Belt championship in the East anyway. Yeah, because James Madison is still not eligible. And if we win out, we'll be good. But just that win number 7, what does that mean? Well, first and foremost, it means that we're progressing. If we get win number 7 on Saturday against Old Dominion and lose the rest of the games, that means we'll go 7-6. That means we actually have one game. We did one game better than we did last year. That is progress, and that'd be pretty cool. If we get it against Appalachian State, same thing. Let's just say we don't win the next 2 games, but we do go to a bowl and win that bowl game. That makes a big deal. And I don't want that to be the case, but that'd be a really big deal because it's a bowl win, something that we haven't had since the RL, what was it, the Carrier? No, was it the New Orleans Bowl? The New Orleans Bowl, I think it was the last bowl that we won back in 2019, I want to say 2018, 2019. I can't remember. I think that was the last one that we did win, though. But nevertheless, that would be really awesome if we do get that. Coach Clay Helton did make it to a bowl last season. We ended up losing to Buffalo. And that kind of sucked because I thought we could have done better. But with all the scheme of things, because things don't look too good right now after the loss against Marshall, a lot of people are kind of down on what has happened with the team, whatever the case may be. But I think with us getting win number 7, it just goes to continue. It shows you that we are continuing in the right direction. Coach Clay Helton came here, inherited a 3-9 team, double the win total of last year. Still has a chance to, get 3 games more than win total last year. I mean, it's not that far-fetched that we could go on the 3-game win streak. It's not that far-fetched. Will it happen? Probably not. But it would be nice to end up going, 9-4 for the season. But with my estimation, I think we're probably going to end up going like 8-4, maybe 8-5. Because we're going to end up going to a bowl. I'll say 8-5. And I think that'll be a very successful season. I mean, 8 wins in. I'll put it like this: if you get 8 wins in the Sun Belt, you're doing pretty good. And that's what I thought it was going to be last year. I thought it was going to be 8-4 going into our bowl game, and all bets are off on the bowl game because I didn't know if we were going to win that bowl game. Depends on who we're playing, but I thought at the end of the season we could have been 8-4, and we ended up going 6-7. Well, we ended up going 6-6, and it still was better than last year. So the year before that we went 3-9. So win number 7 definitely shows that we're in the right direction. And I know a lot of people want to see us be way beyond that. People wanted to see us at this point with 2 games left. A lot of people wanted us to have 8 wins. A lot of us wanted us, to be in a position to have 8 or 9 wins, or maybe even 7 wins right now. But what I've seen this season, I've seen that this team is exactly who they thought they were, that they are. I didn't see anything special from this team, just a continuation of last year. Davis Brin is maybe a notch below Kyle Van Treese when it comes to actually playing the quarterback position. But I don't see anything that's really outside of I don't see anything that is shocking. I don't see anything that's surprising. The Marshall loss, yeah, that was kind of a letdown, but it's not necessarily surprising because really when you look at it, I said that we was gonna lose to Marshall. To be honest, I thought Texas State was gonna be the team that we beat, but you see how that happened. But at 6-4, I think we're still in the driver's seat. We're still doing really good, even if, and I know this is gonna be an unpopular opinion, even if we don't, even if we don't go to the Sun Belt East, if we get 7 wins, I still think that is definitely in the right direction. You got to understand, Coach Clay Helton is literally in year 2 of his tenure here. I mean, if you want to create a big time program here in any school, you're going to need at least 4 years. You're going to need at least 4 years to put your entire fingerprint on what this team or what any program is going to be made of. So will Coach Clay Helton be here for the next 2 or 3 years? I don't know. I mean, it's very hard to say because we just don't know what's going to happen in the future. I would love for Coach Clay Helton to still be here. I think he was the absolutely best and the right pick for this school. You go back and you look at the things that happened at USC, and even though he coached okay there, some Trojan fans don't want to believe that he did okay. I mean, it's maybe not up to your standards, but is Lincoln Riley up to your standards? I mean, that's another conversation that young guys may or may not want to have. But when you look at Coach Clay Helton, this is a really good pickup. I mean, I like what we're doing recruiting wise. I kind of wish. I think the biggest question mark with Coach Clay Helton really is the quarterback situation. Can you develop a quarterback to be ready for your offense? I don't want to see another year that you bring a transfer in when you bought in J.C. French, you bought in Bo Allen, you bought in Fitzgerald, bought in Kobe Walton. You bought in a lot of quarterbacks here. And I don't know how well these quarterbacks are, to be honest, but I think at least one of these guys should be good enough to run the offense at this point. Especially, I'm a big fan of Colton Fitzgerald. I want to see this kid do great. That's my personal pick if I was to see a quarterback be the next starter next year, but we're getting way too ahead of ourselves on that. But like I said, I think Coach Clay Helton has done a pretty good job with this team. The games that we lost, those look like the losses that we should have had. I mean, maybe you want to change some things up with the Marshall game, and credit to Marshall. A lot of people, well, I ain't gonna say a lot of people, a few people said that I didn't give Marshall credit. They deserve credit for beating us. I mean, it was a game that we probably should have won. I still stand by that, but I got to give them credit for their win. That was a solid one. But outside of that, I think this is the first time, like I said the other day, I think this is the first time you can start questioning what Coach Clay Helton is doing here. I mean, and if that's the first game I think we're in the right direction if that's the case. Because last year, I mean, even the times we went, when we lost a few games, then everybody kind of chalked it up to like, okay, this is his first year. He's getting implemented. He's starting to see how things go here in Statesboro, trying to see how the Sun Belt. He's figuring it out. He doesn't have his team together that the way he wants it. So we give him a pass. Oh, let's be honest, guys. He still hasn't got the team that he wants. I mean, in 2 years, even with all the transfer portal situations, this is not the way you build a team that fast. I mean, even some of the greats, had a year or 3 to actually get on board. I mean, I think maybe Nick Saban and Dabo Sweeney probably did it faster. Maybe probably had a couple other ones. I don't know. I mean, people talk about Danny Lanning at Oregon, but that team was already ready to go. I mean, he just implemented a few more things, but that team was already ready to go. He didn't have to do much. Oregon was already a powerhouse beforehand. But when you look at the group of 5, you starting to see the cream rise to the top in the Sun Belt. The Sun Belt themselves is the best group of 5 conference. It's not even close. And you got teams like James Madison. You got teams like Troy, Georgia Southern. You still got the Appalachian states of the world. You got teams that are prominent that could go out there and play well against any Power 5 team if you catch them on the right day. And at the end of the day, that's all that really matters. You want your team to be that type of team, Even if it's a group of five, you want these guys to play like they're a power five. And Coach Clay Helton, you look at the scores of some of these games that we won, it looks like that. I mean, ask Ball State, go ask Georgia State. You know what I mean? Go ask some of these other teams that we actually, beat up on. It looked like a Power Five team probably handed it to him. So all in all, Coach Clay Helton is doing the right things. He's saying the right things. He's doing the right things. Kind of a head scratcher at the Marshall game, but if you're going to take a year in 10 games to finally sit here and be like, all right, Coach Clay Helton, what are you doing? If it takes that long for you to start questioning things, you may be got the right coach. Now, I know some people can say, well, what about this game? What about that game? What about this? What about that? And I'm like, yeah, I get it. I mean, he's not perfect and everything, every scenario is not on up and up and everything wasn't right. But I think we all can agree to be real. Like, this game was the game that you actually say, all right, well, what are we doing here as far as a football team? But like I said, if it takes that long for us to actually start saying something, a year of football and 10 games into the second season, for that to be the question mark, I think we're doing a good job. So then we got a good coach. So win number 7 means a lot. It really does. And it's just going to continue to show progression. And it's going to be tough to get rid of this guy. Even if some of the haters want to. I mean, because he's doing a pretty good job overall. Will give him a B plus for what he's done so far. So if you like this commentary, hit the like button, share this podcast, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let me know what you guys think. 7 wins, what does it mean to you? Let me know. I can be found on YouTube and Rumble, also on Anchor, Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. The website is firstandframerates.com. And things that don't make it to this channel is some of the stuff that makes it on my other channel. You can catch me over there at VF Baller on X and VF Baller, and PayPal and Cash App links up below if you want to support. So I'll see you guys next time. You guys take it easy, and y'all be blessed. Peace.